Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. I'm out. My daughter decided she's gonna take me out for lunch, but at the same time I end up paying for lunch. So I guess that wasn't her treat, huh? Anyway, people are trying to get these business loans with no tax returns, EIN only. And the situation is you have to have revenue in the business, okay? You have to have revenue in the business. If you're trying to do EIN only, then what is the aging? And I'm not talking about just going out and buying a Chef Corp. If you go out and buy a Chef Corp, and this is why a lot of people get screwed over. They listen to these people that tell them, oh, just go buy a Chef Corp, you can get funded. They're lying to you, okay? Because you buy a Chef Corp, that does not mean you're going to get funded. All right, and the reason is because one, the Chef Corp more likely don't have up-to-date taxes, okay? And if there is taxes on it, well, guess what? They always filed zero, so they wouldn't have to pay any taxes. So you dealing with a Chef corporation with no profits in it, okay? So how many lenders do you think is actually going to give you funding if you file taxes and you keep on showing a loss? All right. And by the way, let me tell you something that most people are not aware of. When you file loss on a company, all right, the only time you're going to get a tax refund is with a C corporation. That's the only entity that can give you a tax refund. You don't believe me? Check with your CPA. All right. Now, here's another thing. People, when they go out and buy these Chef corporations, right? Like I said, they tell you to go get funded, right? The thing about it, if you don't have at least 3 to 6 months of bank statements, all right? Now, let me tell you something. If a person sells you a Chef corporation, all right, and they have 3 to 6 months of bank statements, all right? Here's the thing about it. Do you have that same relationship with that same bank? Because they can mess around and create some documents and they can end up getting you in some legal trouble, all right? Here's another thing I tell you all about buying these Chef corporations as well. A lot of people don't like to hear it, but I'm gonna tell you, when you buy a Chef corporation, you have to be careful. And the reason is because with a lot of banks now, if that Chef corporation had this dissolved before you purchase it, okay? If that Chef corporation used a virtual address on it, okay? More likely that virtual address has been flagged. And since that virtual address has been flagged, then that's going to make it harder for you to get funding on that Chef corporation, all right? And so I'm just laying it out there so you understand. When these people talking about, oh, get funding with a Chef corporation and stuff, you better ask those questions. If there's taxes on it, if there's bank statements on it, and if there's what's the address on it, okay? So that really makes a difference because the address can be flagged. Also, another thing about Chef corporation that a lot of people are not aware of is phantom debt, okay? This is all something that's real important. Phantom debt. So what that means is that a company went out of business. However, they did not pay off those credit cards, right? And so when you buy this 5, 6, 7, 10-year-old age corporation, right? That debt never was dissolved, okay? And so you can end up reactivating somebody else's corporate debt, and you can be the owner of it because you took over that corporation. So that's the reason why I tell you guys, you have to be careful when people talk about trying to give you funding and stuff. Now, in terms of lenders where when you have bad credit and you don't have a tax return, but you have bank statements, all right? The places that you probably want to do is like Fair Figure. Now, that's another thing in reference to the amount of revenue. usually I tell people, if the revenue is less than $3,000, sometimes it's very hard to find lenders, okay? The ones that I'm gonna share with you, like Fair Figure, the minimum revenue is $2,500. You have to have $2,500 in order to work with Fair Figure. They're similar to NAV, right? And so with what they do, they set up two accounts for you, okay? They set up a financial account, which is the loan, and then they set up the trading, the net account, okay? So they'll set up two types of accounts for you, all right? So that's with Fair Figure. You have to excuse me, guys. I'm looking at these guys here. Look. These, I guess they're cadets or Marines. Yeah, they're cadets or Marines. That being said, so Fair Figure, then I always tell you all about Giggle Finance. The minimum income is $1,500, okay? So the minimum income being $1,500, you have to be in business for at least 3 months. Your deposits have to be at least 3 to 4 times a month in deposits, right? So that's another thing that a lot of people aren't saying. There are places now with Giggle Finance, yes, they go up to 10,000. They go up to 10,000. So that's a good one. Then you have that MCA Merchant Cash Advance, and so with that Merchant Cash Advance, you're looking at like a Fundo that gives 10,000. Again, no tax returns. It's just deposits in the bank account. Then you have let's see. Sorry about that. I got a brain freeze, guys. But another one you can look at is God. It's on the tip of my tongue too. It's Lendeska. Okay, sorry about that. So with Lendeska, they would also they give you up to 20,000. Now the minimum score is a 500, but you don't have to have tax returns. You just have to show proof that your annual revenue is at least $25,000 a year. All right, minimum time in business 90 days. Okay, so it is possible for you to get funding and stuff like that. So don't think it's not possible to get funding with just your EIN and stuff like that. However, when you try to shortcut it with those chef corporations, what ends up happening, it ends up screwing you. So that's the reason why I tell you guys, when these people are selling these chef corporations for 5 and 10,000, and then you realize that you can't even do nothing with it. Your money's just been burned, right? So you have to be careful with these guys. That's the reason I always tell you, hey, before you do something, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, why don't you just schedule a one-on-one 1-hour call with me and ask me all the questions you have about chef corporations, okay? And let me answer those questions, okay? When you're trying to get funding and stuff, let me answer your question. Then whoever you choose to do business with to go get funding, then go over to them, all right? It'll be much easier, all right? So I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.